Hello and welcome back to another episode of Zak Does It. In the last episode, we started painting the differential, drive axles, and drive shafts, and in this episode, we're going to take all of those parts and the transmission and the PPF through to final paint. So we're going to finish everything that we need to do for painting those components. So with that, let's just jump right into the work that we're doing today. But before we do that, if you're enjoying this series or you're just enjoying the content that I produce in general, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps the algorithm with discovering my video and putting it in front of others who might also be interested. With that, let's dive right in. Well, there you have it. Everything has been fully painted from start to finish. We got the protective covering done as well as a colored top coat. Who guessed that it would have been white? Well, I did say I wanted something to pop, and with the future color scheme that I want to give Mama Miata, I think white is going to look really, really good underneath of her. So now that we've got everything painted, what is next? Well, we need to remove all the components that we just painted from Mama Miata. Those were all replacement components. A replacement transmission and differential drive axles and drive shaft. The PPF as well was a replacement, all of which have half the mileage that Mama Miata's components have. But we're not going to stop there. We're actually going to take it 1 or 2 or 10 steps further, and we're going to be removing the suspension components, the brake components, the subframes. We're even going to be pulling the engine so that we can take it apart and rebuild it. If we need to get it re-machined to be straight or flat, or get it re-honed, that's probably a good idea to re-hone all of the cylinders. We're going to make sure that everything is brand spanking new for being 30 years old, or at least as close as possible to that, so that the components continue to perform well and have a long, long life on the road. What that also means is that while everything is out of Mama Miata, we're going to go ahead and fix the rust in the rear rockers. We're going to take off all of the undercoating underneath it, that sticky kind of rubberized material that comes from the factory, and we'll be replacing that with the Pour 15 product. We will probably paint it all black. That way, like I mentioned before with wanting the top coat color of these components, I wanted them to pop. Well, they will really pop if I undercoat and paint the entire underside black. That includes the subframe, but I also haven't really decided whether or not I want the subframe to be white or black or silver or potentially some other color, so I need to figure that out as well. Once the rockers and the undercoating have been taken care of, I'm also going to give her a fresh new paint job. So I've got a really cool idea in mind of what color I want to keep her. It's going to be red, but I want to paint her something a little different than a factory color red. So we'll see how that turns out. I need to get a paint gun and get some practice runs in on my old front driver's side fender, which is a little warped. I do have a replacement to use, but I want to practice on that warped one so that way I'm not ruining any of my components. And once all of that is done, we will completely reassemble Mama Miata and get her back out on the road. For me, this is taking about 2 years that she won't be on the road. I guess realistically 1.5 years. So it's been really, really tough. I've been missing out this entire summer being able to take her out for long car rides and drives, especially with the Miata clubs nearby. But you better believe that as soon as everything is back together, we're gonna be putting lots and lots of miles on Mama Miata. That's all I have for today's episode. In the next ones, we will be jumping into that complete disassembly that I mentioned, but that's really it. If you've been enjoying this series, like I mentioned earlier in this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and even consider sharing this video with your friends. It's really difficult for small channels to grow, and sharing, liking, and subscribing is one of the most powerful ways to get my channel out there. YouTube's algorithm likes to see that interaction and promote those types of videos that are getting a lot of traction. So with that said, also be sure to comment. Let me know what types of projects you're working on, what types of upgrades you're bringing to your car, Miata related or otherwise. I'm interested to hear how your projects are going and what kind of cool, crazy things y'all are doing. Other than that, I think that's a wrap for this episode, and I'll be sure to see you on the next one.